Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? I am back on. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit late. It is 11:06 right now. I did say 11 a.m. I do apologize for that. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's doing great. Juma Mubarak. It is Friday, July 14th, 2017. Anyway, as the title says, I'm going to be digging into my childhood, or rather my childhood is behind me. And before I do that, I want to let everybody know that we are live, so be brief with me for a second, okay? Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? So we're here live on YouTube. You can see that. Hey! Make sure you tune in. Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? So we're here live on YouTube. You can see that. Hey! Make sure you tune in. Alrighty. Then you gotta do the Instagrams. Excuse me. Let's do video. Put the camera. What's up, Instagram? So I'm here live on YouTube. Come and join me if y'all want to know a little bit about my childhood. As I said in the title, my childhood is behind me. So let's go ahead and discover what that's all about. Next. What's up, Instagram? So I'm here live. And put that on my page and on Twitter. And say, I'm live now. I'm live now. I'm live now. The link is in my bio. And here. www.youtube.com/Belat91. A little brief history, actually, as to why I chose the name Belat91 as my username. And it's because I couldn't think of anything at the time. So what I did was just take my last name and reverse it. And then 91, I'm sure y'all can guess, is my birth year. youtube.com/Belat91. Done. Awesome. Great. Oh, I got more people following me on Instagram. Who knows? Just increases the count, doesn't it? Anyway, so how y'all been? How's everybody doing? I just literally hopped out of the shower, so all the humidity is catching up and making me perspire a lot. And I'm glistening because of all the sweat. I mentioned in the vlogs, like, as much as I like to be on time, something has to happen for me to be late. You know, I just absolutely hate it when I'm late. Like, it's one of my worst things. Because I don't like people to be late for when I need them. And it goes reverse, that I don't like to be late when people need me. Or if I said I'm going to be somewhere by a certain time and I'm late, I hate the feeling. And it's just, yuck. No bueno. Oh, man. Alhamdulillah. Whew. Alright, so, let's do this. I'm actually going to take you guys with me. Ooh-ha. Okay, so, let's do this one at a time, shall we? As you can see behind me is a collection of Funko Pop figures and some action figures and some Lego figures that I've collected recently over the past several months, and some of these are exclusive and rare, so very, very happy that I have a chance to get one of those things. So let's start from this side, going across like that, and then we'll go into the back row and then go back that way. All right. So first we have, whoa, and there goes the white, because I have a big chair. Sorry about that. Okay. So first thing I got is, of course, Vader, and then Luke, and then Yoda, all from Star Wars. Now, I was introduced to Star Wars when I was a wee little child. I remember my dad telling me about Star Wars when he first watched it in the theater when he was in Kuwait back in the 70s. I forgot what it's called in Arabic, but it's pretty dope. Like, they had it playing and they had subtitles, I believe. So he watched it since he was young, and, you know, it kind of incorporated in our life as we were growing up, you know, this love for Star Wars and, you know, the universe of Star Wars. That's why I have actually an exact replica of Darth Vader's lightsaber that he used in Episode 4. So I got that at Comic-Con. I don't know if y'all watched the vlog. If you did, awesome. If not, go watch it. It's the time we met Mark Hamill, actually. So it's really dope. So yeah, this one actually I just replaced this Darth Vader because I had the original one right here, but this one looks like Stewie too much from Family Guy, and so I was like, I like the one that just came out from Rogue One. Looks much more authentic to Darth Vader. Doesn't have the small beady eyes like all the other Funko Pops do. So that's that. So that's Vader from Rogue One. Then I have Episode 6, Luke Skywalker as a Jedi. As you can see, his lightsaber is out. And I've actually been messing with his head because it's not bobbly, it's not straight as well. And so because of that, I've been trying to adjust it so that it is straight, and I've been making it worse and worse. So I left it to the best that I could and just put it back. Then here, of course, Yoda from Episode 5, when we first meet him ever in chronological order, right? That's something that also is important. If you're going to watch Star Wars, if you've never watched Star Wars and you want to watch Star Wars, watch it 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3, Rogue One, and then 7. Because that's the way it was, you know, it best reveals, you know, how, you know what, I'm not going to spoil anything. Go watch Star Wars if you haven't, in that order. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 7. And then here we have a rare action pose Spider-Man. As y'all know, Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character of all time. I don't, you know, the story of it is, you know, is very connective to the audience. It's very relatable. So that's why I like him, and of course his spider powers and his abilities, really awesome. And yeah, so he's my favorite. Then of course we have Simba. Now I've mentioned also in my vlogs that this Simba is not the correct colors of Simba. It looks more like Kovu from Lion King 2. But, you know, if they came out with a Funko Pop Mufasa, I will absolutely replace Simba with him instead. They just released a Funko Pop of Simba from Lion King with his leaf mane, you know, that he was wearing in I Just Can't Wait to Be King. So there's that, but no, they need to have Mufasa. Funko Pop needs to release a Mufasa figure. Then we have, from Toy Story, Woody. Classic, first 1995 full-length animated feature film. This was a groundbreaker because in technology and animation and the film industry, because it's the first of its kind. So it did, I believe it created the category and it won the Academy for best animated film in terms of 3D. Then we have Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Now this one, I got this one instead of the other Beast one from the ballroom because that one looked a lot more cleaner and just didn't look right. It didn't feel like Beast. So I went ahead and got this one because it's more grungy. You can see that he has, the little birds on him, and he's holding a bird in his hand. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of like a contrast. He's a beast, but he's also kind, right? And then we have another Darth Vader here. You can see that one. Just a regular posable figure, not fully articulative, but still, of course, I'm a fan of Star Wars. So, and Vader is my all-time favorite character, no matter what, because he's such a deep. His story is just so deep and complex, and it's so relatable. I think like we've all been through that kind of phase where, we think we're going the right path, but then something doesn't go our way, and then we start shifting off the line, and then we make our way back before it's too late. So actually, Star Wars has a lot to do with Islam. If y'all want to make the comparison, Jedi are, the Muslims, or the good Muslims, and then, there's a lot of Islamic principles and foundation within the Star Wars universe, conceptually at least. Then we have, reflective of this whole first half, is the other half. So we have Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and I liked her look here instead of the one like where she's a peasant and from the village. I didn't like that outfit and the way it looked, so this one was nice because it's a lot more classy, very, very clean. Then we have Buzz Lightyear, the best astronaut out there. You know what I'm saying? Then we have a rare Scar Funko Pop figure. I was lucky to find him on eBay, and my God, it's not a bobblehead. No, not all. A lot of these are not bobbleheads. Only a few. Star Wars ones, and Spider-Man, and next, Logan. And speaking of Logan, I just watched it yesterday, and oh my God. Such a good movie. I need to watch it again just so I can really, really capture everything. Because, whenever you watch something for the first time, you miss quite a few things. So I want to watch it again just because, I feel like there's so much I missed. I want to watch it again just so I can really, really get into it. So Logan, or Wolverine, is my second favorite comic book character. Actually, he's kind of tied with Batman. No, I take that back. He is my second favorite. Batman is my third, and I wanted to get a Funko Pop Batman from the animated series with the Joker, but I'm kind of running out of space up here, as you can tell. So yeah, Logan, also very, very deep-rooted story. His internal conflict that he deals with, and then dealing with other people, and his situation. It's just so an amazing movie. He's just a great character, and that's why I relate to him a lot. Then we have my first franchise that I was ever introduced to was the Ninja Turtles, and of course my favorite is Mikey. What I like about the Ninja Turtles is that each four of them represent a personality, right? And I relate to Mikey the most. I feel like I like to break the ice. I like to lighten the mood whenever it's a dark situation, but I don't like to come off as an idiot. So, yeah, I like Mikey a lot, and he's just a fun guy to be with. So Mikey. Then we have Master Splinter, of course. This is all Funko Pop from the original cartoon, so it's not like the newer reboots or anything. You can tell, specifically from Splinter's outfit and Shredder's. You can see that, they're from the 1980s cartoon, the late 80s into the 90s. So I think that was the first franchise I was ever introduced to at a young age, and I was a fanatic. And I still kind of am, but then as I was introduced to other franchises and different stories and different characters, I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? Really, really cool stuff. And I'm actually a big fan of the original first movie. And I think, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, NECA, that company, that brand of action figures and toys, they made replicas like screen accurate replicas of the turtles as action figures, and I'm like, holy cow, this is ridiculous. Like, the detail is insane, but they are a bit pricey, so I probably will not get those. Maybe when I'm older and I have some change hanging around, then yeah, I'll go ahead and get those. But those are like ridiculously accurate. I was like, wow, because like just the amount of detail in them, in their face and their scales, even like to their bandanas, the way they look, it's just ridiculous. So go ahead and look those up, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But the first film is my favorite because of how real it was, or how real it was portrayed. It was very dark. That's why the second one, even though that was my favorite for a long time, but then I went back and, established that the first was my favorite because of how dark of a story it was and how realistic it was. The second one wasn't as dark. It was actually more uppity, more colorful, and because they wanted to make it more kid appropriate. After the first film was released in 1990, a lot of parents were concerned, that their kids were going to get into violence and things of that sort. So they wanted the second one to be more kid friendly, and you can see that, and they explained that in the behind the scenes, that they said, instead of using their weapons, Mikey, he uses those sausages instead of his nunchucks, so it's not as hurtful or damaging. And they use yo-yos and things of that sort, at least in the first fight scene. The first one was definitely much more darker. Third one, I don't know what to make of the third one. It was really weird the way they looked. The story was okay, but it didn't have that same presence or emphasis of the Turtles franchise, at least the way it was presented. The fourth one, the animated one, TMNT, that was pretty good. They kind of rose the bar back up, not exactly to the level of number 2, but still it was really, really good. And then the reboots, they were all right. And then there's the cartoon TV show reboot that is available now, or that's been going on for quite a while. I haven't watched those because those are a little bit too much for kids, not so much for adults. Moving on. Next we have, let's see. Should we start at the back row? No, we'll start in the middle row. So here we have Altair from Assassin's Creed. The movie was aight. It wasn't, oh my god, this is amazing. It was aight. It wasn't like, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is blowing me away. I had so much more expectations from it. I thought they were going to stick with, some spoilers here if you haven't watched it, but I thought they were going to stick with the original storyline, but instead they diverted and went with another one, the Spanish Inquisition, I think, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it wasn't. I wanted them to do the first storyline with Altair actually as the assassin, because it was the time of the Crusades, during the time of Salah ad-Din, Richard III, and everything. It was. I think that storyline would have been so much better to portray, because it was the first game, and that was also revolutionary in gameplay, because you do parkour and everything is scalable, and you can jump on it, and everything is interactive as well. So I think that was really amazing. So that's why he's up here. Then of course you have the Terminator, right? Schwarzenegger, right there. Boom. Now of course Terminator franchise has been going on forever, and since the late 80s. 84 was the first film. Wasn't a fan of it, but it helped set the ground. It set the stage for what's to come after, which Terminator 2 was the best one, and that's why I got this one, because absolutely the best Terminator movie, because we saw how bad he was in the first one, or at least portrayed as the bad guy in the first one. Second one, he was sent back by John Connor to be a protector for his younger self, and so I don't know, like, it was just such an amazing movie, cinematically, story-wise, it's such an original story. Very, very emotionally provoking, and a lot of action, of course, because Schwarzenegger, why not, right? So he's obviously one of my faves. Then we have Master Chief, right, from Halo. Of course, I played the original game. I never played the campaign, actually. I've always played multiplayer, and that was enough for me. But I wanted to get into the story, but I never had a chance to. But definitely I want to do that, inshallah, sometime soon. I just want to play the original game, and then the second, third, fourth, etc. But I didn't like how they just made a business deal, like, making it exclusive for Xbox, because I'm a PS3 guy, or PlayStation, rather. Well, I have the PS1, I had the PSP, and then I had PS3, which I still currently have. Debating if I should get the 4. I really do, because Rocket League, but besides that, yeah, it's just a great system to have. And of course, we have an original PlayStation game that is actually making its comeback very soon, actually. We have Crash. This is reverse, so sorry about this. We have Crash Bandicoot. Boom, right there. And of course, if y'all know, Crash Bandicoot was, I think, also a groundbreaker in gaming history because of how much fun it was, actually, I think, in my opinion. Very unique kind of character. He's, a wacky kind of guy. The whole trilogy was a lot of fun to play when I was younger. And now that they're making a comeback, they're rebooting the entire first 3, but with higher resolution, better graphics, better gameplay, but it's still the exact same levels and everything. So really, really awesome of Sony to do that. For us, millennials who grew up on this stuff, and now that we're older, we would want to come back and experience that again, but with better graphics and maybe there's a different storyline. I don't know. So looking forward to playing that whenever it comes out soon. And of course, you have classic Street Fighter. You have Ryu, and Ken. Always the rivalry between them, or the rivalry that people have put between them. They're just sparring, guys. That's all they do is just spar. But they don't hate each other or anything. I didn't really get into the Street Fighter franchise. I just really like Ryu a lot. And you can't have Ryu by himself. You have to have Ken opposite of him, as always. So that's why I got both of those figures. These guys are very, very detailed as well. I mean, you can, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of articulating points right there, So, really awesome. I like to have those guys. And then we have Tiny. Tiny is actually a really huge kind of guy. Maybe if I do it, can I have reverse camera? Oh, I can. That is so much better. My God. So here we have Tiny. Tiny is a major bad guy in Crash Bandicoot. And obviously he is humongous and muscular. He's actually a rare figure as well. So is Crash, because they made these back in the late 90s, these action figures. And so I was lucky to find them on eBay. This guy was pretty pricey, but I've always wanted him since I was younger. Anywho, moving on, here we have the T-800. He does not stand up ever, as much as I want him to. I even put a stand for him down there, but he just does not want to cooperate, and he always ends up moving. So obviously he is opposite of the Terminator over there. And then we have the back row now. Okay. So here we have Megatron. These are Megatrons from the Beast Wars franchise. They are a branch of the Transformers universe. So here we have the original Megatron, right, in T-Rex form. Then we have the Transmetal, which is his second form. And then let's skip over to this side. Speaking of, continuing on from Beast Wars, we have Optimus Primal, which I thought was a really cool spin on, because Optimus Prime is the original Transformer, and so for this series, when they crash land on prehistoric Earth, they can't survive in their robot mode, so then they have to take on forms of animals, and because of that, he takes on the form of a gorilla, an ape, and so they went with the name Optimus Primal, which I thought is, just creative genius right there. So you have the original, which they just re-released from Takara, and it's actually much more screen accurate than it is now. Then we have the Transmetal, and I found this one complete, which I'm very happy about, with his accessories, you know, his mace and his gun right there. Really cool, awesome franchise. I grew up on these guys in the 90s, and it was also groundbreaking because this was the first, I believe, the very first TV show that was ever that was a full 3D animated show. And they had, I don't know if it was every day or something. They had 52 episodes, though. So from that number, I would say once a week. That's where they had it, you know, all 3 seasons for the whole year. So that's really awesome, really cool. And continuing on of Beast Wars, you have Optimal Optimus, which is actually his 3rd form. He is technically a Transmetal, even though he is the largest Transformer in that universe, or at least in that show. He is really huge. He's not obviously to scale. And then moving on, we have our Lego figurines that me and my brother built, thanks to Abdurrahman for helping me out. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi here, from, I think, the Clone Wars, right? And it was a lot of fun to build him. And then we have another Luke Skywalker from episode 6, right? Really tall, really fun to make these guys, actually. If y'all haven't watched those videos, go ahead and check them out. They're on the random playlist on my channel. And then over here we have General Grievous, who took forever. Me and my brother also did that video together. He took a very long time. He's very complicated, and he's also really tall. You can see, like, you know, he has huge talons right there. Really big talons. And he has 4 lightsabers and everything. He has a very big exoskeleton. And then lastly, we have Darth Vader. Again, of course, my ultimate favorite character of all time is right there. And then we take a step back, and we can see everybody. And then up there we have Muhammad Ali, rahmatullah alayh, Allah yarhamu. You know, he was a great representation of what it means to be a Muslim in America. You know, first minute, first round with Sonny Liston, subhanAllah. So yeah, that's just a little bit of my childhood. As always, it's behind me. I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you have those post notifications turned on. And make sure you follow me on my other social media on Instagram, Snapchat, what other ones? Facebook, like my page, and Twitter. I'm also on there. But I'm not that active on Twitter, to be honest. I just have it to link it back to my YouTube, so make sure y'all do that. I really do appreciate every single one of y'all who tune in. If you're new, welcome to the channel, and I hope I can see you guys more often. So, with that, I hope y'all have a great Jummah, and I will see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace out.